Hey Vikings, this video is going to be a little bit different. We're going to talk about ore and why it cannot teleport in the world of Valheim. Before I get started, I will say it's certainly not impossible for ore to teleport. I'm sure mods will allow it, and I'm sure on some servers this is a setting that could easily be enabled. But what I wanted to talk about is why we shouldn't. Now, obviously I wasn't on the development or design team for this particular game, but this is not an arbitrary choice. This was a design decision, and it was made on purpose. Building in this game is so epic, it seems absolutely natural that you would want to rush out to the wild to find these wild minerals and then bring them back to your base so you could add on even more. And by the time you're ready for it, you suddenly develop the ability to fast travel, and you can get very spoiled very quickly. When you see that you can teleport just about every other thing in the world of Valheim, it seems odd that ore and metal can't teleport at all. If it seems like an artificial difficulty wall, that's exactly what it is. Metal is designed to be heavy, and it's meant to kind of stay local to where it's at. And yeah, there's plenty of ways you could work around it with, outside of the game systems, but if you look at specifically the in-game systems that it promotes, it makes a lot of sense. Metal being as heavy as it is actually creates a lot of fun challenges for you as a player, whether you decide to use a cart to move it around, whether you decide to use paved roads and try to travel it on land, or maybe even try to move it by sea. The flip side of it being incredibly heavy is it's also incredibly valuable. It's an instant tier increaser. It moves you up in the world, and it moves you from point A to point B. So you need it, you really want it, and it seems illogical that you can't teleport it like you can everything else. You'll initially face this frustration when you go out searching for copper, and your inner gamer is going to want to fill your pockets with this stuff so you have the ability to completely max yourself out. It's also at this point of the game where the amount of metal you have access to directly affects how much attack and defense your character has. It immediately shifts the balance of the game to being metal-centric. And that is the core reason why metal should not be teleported, because if you immediately had access to upgrading your armor to the highest level of your tier, it eliminates the rest of the challenge from the game. If you look at the meadows as a tier 1 zone, the meadows gives you access to two types of armor, rag and leather. Once you have access to the Black Forest, you have access to troll armor as well as bronze. And since bronze, and more importantly, earning the power that it gives you, is the reason that you go to the Black Forest, if you had an unlimited easy access supply of it, there's really not a lot of reason to be there. And it was probably pretty difficult for the developers to come up with a way to properly balance it, but to be honest, I think they did a pretty fine job. If you feel like it's resulting in an experience that's grindy and you're constantly mining away to get to the highest level, I think the idea is that you're supposed to be spending a long time in these zones with armor that's not exactly maxed out. It develops some of the challenge, especially in the later zones. Mining strategies are going to change a lot depending on if you're trying to mine in the Black Forest, the swamp, the mountains, etc. But obviously, that's only because metal cannot teleport. If you really want to have a base that has access to everything, my best advice is to build it seaside, because you'll be shipping a lot of that in. But the other solution is to simply have a portal network. Use the portals for what they're meant for and design a number of different bases in a number of different locations. This is simply one gamer's opinion, but to me, Valheim is a game that's meant to take a long time. And it was a huge challenge getting the materials together to build my first iron sword, and I remember doing it because it was a challenge. But on the other side of things, I totally acknowledge that there's a lot of people out there that don't have as much time to play games, and they don't really have the ability to do the game the way that it's intended. At the end of the day, it is a video game. There's no wrong way to have fun. So, however you feel about this game mechanic, and however you want to approach it, I hope this video brought you some clarity, at least from a development standpoint. If you made it this far into the video, I really appreciate you taking the time to listen to my opinion. If you have one of your own, feel free to leave it in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe so you see when the next video comes out. See you next time, Vikings.